Hi everyone, it's Anya here and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks Crochet. And this is video 9 in the Odyssey Mosaic Blanket series. Below this video, in the description box, you will find the link to go to my blog on my website, opheliatalkscrochet.com. And there you will find the written pattern for this video, as well as the chart for the front border. We are doing an enclosed border and we have prepared our blanket for that already. So at the start of our blanket, at the beginning and at the end of each row, we have done special stitches to make boxes. And here at the end of our blanket, we have also made a row of boxes, all to prepare for the enclosed boarding that we do here on the channel. So we are doing the border in mosaic crochet as well, and that means we are doing it in 2 colors. So once again, we will be using the A color as cream, and this time the B color is going to be grape. You will notice that you have an extra ball of grape in your pack, especially because of course we are also using it for the border. So this time we are doing a mosaic design in our border, and that means of course that we're going to need a certain amount of stitches, a certain multiple plus a number of stitches. So to be able to count easy and to make it easy on ourselves, we are only going to be counting the stitches along the sides of our blanket, not the corner stitches. We're just going to leave the corner stitches as they are. So what we are going to do is we're going to use some stitch markers to indicate the first stitch after the corner and the last stitch before the corner. So those will be the 2 stitches where we will start counting, and in between which we will be making our design. So get your stitch markers out and let's get started. So we're going to get started with our A color, and for round 1 we're going to place front post double crochets all around our blanket. But of course this time we are going to have to make a difference in how we place them from the top of our blanket and the bottom of our blanket to the sides of our blanket, because as you can see here, we were able to make boxes which are nice and big and which were made up of half double crochets. But of course here on the side we have much smaller boxes because we only had rows that gave us a height of a single crochet. So let me start about here and I will show you what to do. Okay. So you're going to get started with the slip knot on your hook, you yarn over, and of course you've got the good side of the blanket facing you. You're going to go around the body of the stitch there and you're going to make a front post double crochet. There we go. And you're going to make a second one around that same post. Voila. So this is what you will be doing on the top and on the bottom of your blanket. So then when you arrive at your corner here, you're going to do 2 chains. Voila. So then after doing your chain 2, we're going to get started on our side. And of course here we have mini boxes to deal with because of course we only had the height of a single crochet to work with. So what we're going to do on this side to make sure that this side looks the same as this side is we are going to take 2 chains together. So you're going to yarn over, go around the chain of the first one and at the same time the second one, and then you're going to do your double crochet and you're going to place a second one there. Voila. Okay, so next one, the A color and the B color, take them together. And the reason why we do this is, like I said, so your sides would look the same as your top and your base of your blanket. So let's do a few more so I can show you. So each time make sure you have an A colour and a B colour. And also what I'm doing at the back there is I'm trying to feel that actually all my ends are hanging out here at the back and not getting entangled in my stitches here. So now, before I go any further, there's something else that you should do as well. So I'm going to take a stitch marker and I'm going to place my stitch marker in this stitch here. So this stitch is the last stitch of my side, of my top of my blanket here. And this is going to count as my last stitch. So all the stitches above that one as my last stitch of my mosaic design in that part of my border. So here, the first stitch here is this one, and I'm going to place a stitch marker in there as well. And notice I'm not putting it in the top because we're using it later. So I'm just putting it there in the body of that stitch, so I can just leave it there until I don't need it anymore. But again, this here is where my design for my mosaic is going to get started. Okay, here these stitches are just going to be the corner, and they are going to grow, of course, but they're not going to be part of my design. So make sure that for each corner you indicate this either with your stitch markers, or if you know that those are the ones, then that's what you're going to be using. Now, if you find that you tend to end up with a wavy border while you're doing this, so that you know, when you lay this down it becomes a little bit wavy, you might want to go down a hook size just to make sure that your border is nice and tight, but do it tightly anyway. So make sure you keep on tugging your yarn to avoid getting that wavy border. So I will see you now when you have done your whole round. So I have indicated my first and my last stitch of my sides each time in front and after the corner. And here I am now closing my round. I am skipping this one, going under the V here, and then my slip stitch will act as the top of my double crochet that I skipped there. So I have done the round one here with doing the front post double crochets around the boxes that we have prepared during the making of the blanket. So now using our grape, so the B color, we make a slip knot and we're going to do round 2, and the best place to get started is a corner. So we're going to get started with making a corner. So the corners from here on out will be 1 single crochet, 2 chains and 1 single crochet. There we go. So those are your corners, and they will not count as our stitches for the sides because they're not where these are. Okay, so now the first stitch that we do along the side will be placed here, and you are placing that in that first stitch with the stitch mark. So this is going to be the first stitch of the design later on. And yes, we are doing back loop only, single crochets all along our border. So each time you encounter a corner, you will be doing a corner of 1 single crochet, 2 chains and 1 single crochet, but then all the rest are basically row 4s. Oh my goodness, those row 4s. Okay, so I will see you when you have made it all the way around your blanket. Okay, so this is my situation now. Well, before she was on the blanket, she's now on my lap, which doesn't make things a lot easier. But anyway, we are continuing here. So I have now finished my first round of single crochets, back loop only, in the grape colour. And I have found these to be quite handy because what you now need to do as well is count your stitches between this one here. So from here, from this stitch here to this stitch here, or where am I? Yes, handy with Layla on your lap, of course. Yes, so here I have done, here, this is my last stitch, okay? So here I have done my last single crochet, but in this row, so between this stitch marker and this stitch marker, I need a multiple of 4 stitches plus 1. So this here is 41 stitches for my sampler. So make sure you have 4 plus 1. And then, yes, I had closed my round because I don't need that extra stitch. So I am just going to close my round. This is here where that closes up. So I'm just going to go into the chain space there and I'm going to close up my round. This now makes up the top of my single crochet there. So what I'm going to do in this particular case is indicate that actually this one here, and I'm going to place it here because obviously I'm going to be using the strands in a moment, is going to be my last stitch for my design. Okay, so you now need to do this for every side, and obviously I hadn't mentioned this yet because there is time. So I've done it here now. I haven't done it on my sides nor on my base. So now in the next round, which obviously we are going to be doing in cream, I am going to count this side and maybe the other side. Okay, so make sure that by round 4, so this is round 3 now, so you've got this round and another round, make sure that you have 4 plus 1 on each of your sides. So in between your stitch markers, make sure you have 4 plus 1. And if you make sure you have that, then it will all be plain sailing for the actual mosaic design. So there we go. So start again in your chain 2. You're going to do a single crochet, 2 chains and a single crochet. And then of course, to get to that first stitch, so to get to this stitch here, you're now going to place 1 single crochet on top of that single crochet. Okay, and then here you're now into the first stitch. So this is where my design begins because this is where it is going to tally up. So I'm going to do my back loop single crochets all the way around, and this time I am going to start with counting my long sides so that they are a multiple of 4 plus 1. And if you have to at the end maybe skip a stitch like I did here, that's fine. Or if you then have to undo a few stitches and take 2 together and then continue again, obviously that's fine as well. But make sure you take 1 stitch off rather than adding to it. Okay. So I will see you at the end of the row. So I have made it all the way around my blanket. I have made sure that I have on my sides now as well that I have 4 plus 1 stitches. So here we had to do that little correction before, but that's fine, you know, obviously that's why we do these rows now. And here I have now got my 41st stitch done, so that's 4 plus 1. So now I'm doing the stitch for the corner, so I'm going to go in here, find the V, of course that end is there, voila, and then here I have the single crochet that we did to start with, and I'm going to go into the chain space to do my slip stitch. There we go. So now this corner we have one stitch sort of on the side, but of course we're not going to let that count for our design. So of course each time we do a corner we are going to do more stitches in that corner, but of course, yeah, they don't count. They're just still part of the corner design. Okay, so like here as well. So here, this is my first stitch. These are corner stitches. So in the next round, I'll be doing 3 stitches there. So now back to the grape for another round of single crochets all the way around. And here in this corner where I have been starting and where I just finished, I do try to put my stitches in the back loop only, but yeah, it's not that easy. So let's put it here so I can manage to do that. So this is part of the corner. Then here, finding the back loop as well, just leaving the front loop behind. So I'm going to try and do that. There we go. And then here in the chain 2, I'm going to do 1 single crochet, 2 chains, and then you turn and you do another single crochet. And then here again, yeah, I can see the back loops there. I just couldn't do it in the in that last one here, but that doesn't matter. Right, there we go. So here, voila. So this is going to be your corner now. So you've got 2 stitches to do before you actually do your single crochet, 2 chains and a single crochet, and then of course you do 2 stitches to get started. And then here now, let's see if we can locate, yeah, this one here is going to be the first stitch of the mosaic design. So just keep an eye on your stitches there, and also make sure that you indicate them, and also make sure that between the stitch markers, so counting from this one here to the end, you've got a multiple of 4 plus 1. I will see you at the end of the row. So I have made it to the end of my round, and I'm just going to do a slip stitch here to close my round. There we go. So we're back to the cream, and we're going to get started on a corner. I'm going to get started with the stitches I have to do outside of my mosaic design amount. So here we have to find 3 single crochet locations. So I'm going to go into that slip stitch location. Sometimes I pick up an extra strand here because that makes it a little bit more sturdy, but just make sure you have that front loop left over there. Then we have our second location right here. And then our third one there. So you need to do 3 single crochet back loop only before you start your corner. And of course your corner is 1 single crochet, 2 chains and 1 single crochet. Voila. And now here we have to do our 3 single crochets. So 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. And then if we do that one, is this, yeah, look, this is the first one then of our design. So there we go. So this is now our corner, and now you should be in that first stitch of your mosaic design. So here we have indicated this stitch. This is above it, this is above it, and this is above it. So indeed we now are here, and this is the start of our mosaic design repeat, and the repeat starts with a double crochet in the front loop only. So we're going to go down to this one here, and we're going to make our double crochet there. Voila. So in fact, yes, you can see that this is above that one there. And so that's what you need to make sure. So now that we have done this, we know we have started in the correct place, and now we're doing 3 single crochets back loop only. Let's just check to see that, yeah, I did skip that one. Okay, so now we do a front loop double crochet. And to check, to make sure that you are in the right place, also make sure that you skip 3 front loops. And then we do 3 single crochet, back loop only, then a double crochet, 3 single crochets. And this is how you're going to continue. So here I've made it to the end of my side. I have finished my little repeat here, but I am not above the last stitch there. So yes, I have to do 1 more double crochet to finish my design, because of course it's 4 plus 1. And then here I'm doing my 3 single crochets, and then we are ready for the corner. There we go, voila. And then here I am doing 3 single crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and that should now put me above, yeah, that first stitch there. So this one is the one I am going to be using for my first front loop double crochet, and of course then from here on I know I have started correctly, so we are going to continue until I have done the whole way around. So there we go, yeah, front loop only double crochet in the 4th stitch there. So I am going to continue like this, and I will see you at the end of the row. So I have now made it all the way around, and oh my goodness, how satisfying is this? So yes, I have done my little repeat here, and I have 1 stitch left, and it is right above that location where I need it to be. Oh my goodness, there we go. So let's close the round. Yeah, can't get into that standing stitch, going under the next one, and there we go. So for round 6 we're back to grey. So there we go. Let's start with our single crochet in the back loop only right here. So we're doing 4 stitches in this round. Voila, so you start with your 4 single crochets first, then in the chain 2 you're going to place 1 single crochet, 2 chains and 1 single crochet, and then here we are doing 4 stitches. So into that first one there, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Voila, and that is your corner this time. And of course when you get here you don't have to do these 4 stitches anymore. So from here on we are now starting with our mosaic design. But before we start with our repeat, we have to start with just 2 stitches on their own. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. There we go. Okay, and now we can get started with our repeat, which is a double crochet front loop only, and then 1 single crochet back loop only in the next 3 stitches. So make sure you are placing your double crochets in the middle here between those double crochets there. So at the end of the row I have finished my repeat here, but of course here you're not finished with your stitches, so you're going to have to do 1 extra double crochet front loop only, and then of course again you start your repeat again, but you're not going to have enough stitches, so you're going to have to do 2 single crochet back loop only, and then you run out of stitches for your mosaic design part. Okay, and now you're going to do the stitches for the corner, and of course you can just keep going, but I just wanted to show you. Okay, so here we are now doing 4 stitches, so in total you're doing 6 single crochet back loop only, and then you do the corner. So 1 single crochet, 2 chains and 1 single crochet. There we go. And then of course here, now you turn. Now of course as well, you will be doing 6 single crochets, before we split them up into 4 and 2, but that was just so you would understand where all those stitches were coming from. So we do the 4 first here for our corner, and then we do the 2 that we need to do to get started with our mosaic design. There we go, those are those 2, and then now I do my first double crochet, and then I start my repeat of doing the 3 single crochets. I will see you at the end of the round. So I am now at the end of the round, and indeed I have to do a double crochet front loop here, and then I have to do 2 more single crochets. There we go, and I'm going to do my slip stitch by skipping that standing stitch and going under the next one. So there we go. So now for round 7, we are going to get started again with a slip knot. We are using our cream, and we're going to get started the way we have been the last few rounds, and that is by doing those first 5 stitches before the corner. So let's count back: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this one here, the 6th one, is the one where we're going to be placing a double crochet. So don't use this one, but let's go to this one here. There we go. So this is the one that we need to use for our first single crochet before the corner. And we are doing 5 of them. Voila, so that's 5 single crochets. Now we do our corner. So 1 single crochet, 2 chains and 1 single crochet. And then here we are going to be doing 5 stitches as well. But of course you have to make sure that you don't use this one for those single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you know that you have to get started in this very first one as well. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So it doesn't hurt to count back sometimes. Okay, and then now we're going to get started with our repeat. So that is going to be 1 double crochet in the next stitch there, and then 1 single crochet in the back loop only in the next 3 stitches. And this is our repeat, and each time you will be putting your double crochet on top of the double crochet from that cream row below. So I will see you at the end of the round. So I have made it to the end of the round, and indeed I have 1 stitch left for this front post double crochet. And here skipping the standing stitch, going under the next one for the slip stitch. There we go. So now this is the end of our mosaic design. So we are now finished with the mosaic bit. We are now doing another round in grape, so in our bee color, just single crochets all the way around. And of course we are doing the corner still of 1 single crochet, 2 chains and 1 single crochet. So let's get going. I'm going to be very rebellious and just start anywhere. There. I will see you at the end of the round. Okay, so a few more stitches to do. I'm at the end of my round, and this indeed is the last round of the front border. So in this border design for the front border, we incorporated a design, a mosaic design, and I have to say it was worth counting, but I am going to do a plain border at the back, so I hope you will enjoy doing that. So I hope you are enjoying your Odyssey Mosaic blanket journey, and if you are, please do post a picture in our Facebook group, Ophelia Talks Crochet. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!